Was geht, Leute? Okay. So this is what we have today. It feels good to be back. I looked at Wednesday's price action around FOMC. That joint was kind of nice. I ain't gonna hold you. What it hit. But we talked about that just a little bit in the Discord. But this is what I see now. We have SMT at the weekly open with this breaker block. And we're trading up inside of that with this gap. Now again, we have traded a lot lower this week, kind of hit the levels that I would be looking for. I would have liked to see. I think we hit it. Let me just make sure. No, we didn't take out last week's low yet, which is what I would have liked to see. Make sure I'm not just saying that. I didn't feel like we did that yet. Or not last week's low. On Sunday, the 8th. So I was looking for that to get hit. And obviously we didn't do that yet. So we went straight up. And then we've come back down. If you guys remember on Tuesday, I talked about there was a 15-minute, you can go to that right now. On the 15-minute chart, there was this candle right here that I said I wanted to see hit, which was this one. Oh, that's wrong. It's on this. Sorry about that. It's the wrong day. On Tuesday, it was this candle that I wanted to see hit price trade down to and tap this, specifically with this gap. Remember, we came in short and failed and then went up there and then ended up getting stopped out. It came back down. And I remember we were looking for this high to get taken out because there was a daily volume imbalance above here. So that was a draw on liquidity from right here to go up to it. And if you see that, we created the high of the week inside the volume imbalance. I mean, it went a little bit, it overshot it a little bit, but you can see there. And then we've pretty much traded lower. Now around FOMC, that was nice. We hit I think it was a monthly open. We hit the March open pretty much right at 2 o'clock here. And notice that there was FOMC right at 2, and then at 2:30, that's when the news release happens. And then you see like you create swing highs and at that point, and again, we're always looking for lower prices, and then that's what happened, trade lower. Thursday was really ugly, in my opinion. That's a very, very ugly trading day. Glad I didn't do anything at that point. I wasn't even looking at the market, but yeah, that looks pretty ugly. So again, normally, like, we would be looking to see if price can or wants to take out that low. Now again, we have a contract rollover, and I'm on the new contract, like MNQM. I think the last one is MNQH. So if you're on QH, you should probably switch it over. But as you can see, we're trading real deep up into this. Again, we could want to trade back up into it. Again, very, 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 very low interest today, just because of what it's kind of already have done. Also, it's a contract rollover. Just not interested in anything too exciting today, in my opinion. So, yeah. Kind of see what happens there. But yeah, so we're inside the previous range of yesterday on regular trading hours, but that is even choppy there. I was specifically looking at this low here, the swing low. This is also inside, but then overlaps with the weekly open. So this wick was of importance to me. Also, we can look at wicks as gaps. Let's do, what did I do wrong here? Oh, I got the wrong thing. Look at wicks as gaps. So this is a potential area. You can even grade it, that's fine. So the 50% line was here, which we have SMT at. And again, we could still pull up because we have taken out this external range here. So we'd be seeking internal. And that's kind of what we're up into right now. Hopefully it's not lagging because it's looking like it's doing that on mine right now. So we'll see. Can you guys hear me all right? I think it's coming out of the headphones. I don't think that it's coming out of the regular sound. But hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. Okay. Yeah, it's lagging for me. Hopefully it's not doing that for you guys. Yeah, trading back above weekly open. Got 5 minutes again. I could want to pull up inside the range. I could want to attack some buy side liquidity up here. Because this is the current dealing range that we'd be in, at least for the week. And we'd be in a discount. This low. We'd be in a deep, deep discount. You have buy side there, buy side there. 50% would be up here. So we may want to pull back up inside this range a little bit. But it's crazy how much this is being held, actually. It's being held pretty a lot, in my opinion. This should have already been dropping towards the lows that we have on a 6-month chart. If you go to that, go to a 6-month chart here. See what I'm talking about? Oh. Gotta go to this right here. Go to a daily chart. Not exactly sure what this is. But look at a 6-month chart and go to the opening price. Look how we have a low resistant liquidity node signature here. So longer term, that's where we're pretty much looking, in my opinion. You can leave that on there and even call it 6-month opening price. There it is. So that could be a draw, but today we may want to trade a little bit higher. Very, very low interest for me. Just everything's been done, in my opinion. So trade up to the opening price there. Inside this range. So you have this gap here. We'll see how this gap reacts. Are we going to run through it or are we going to support it? Again, today just not very high interest and probability in just my opinion. By the way, I don't know if anyone noticed, I switched my, well, wasn't my choice, but my nose ring, the circle used to be on this side. Now it's on the other side, or the hoop, because this one fell out and I couldn't put it back into this one. So it's easier switching this one. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. So it feels weird being on the other side. But the crazy thing is that was my original idea when I was getting it. But when you get a new piercing, they can't put the hoop in. I don't think we have, no. I was checking to see if we have SMT here. We don't. So we'll see what ends up happening. This is yesterday's range. As you can see, look at yesterday's range. It was so small. Even if we take this as a stop run there and don't count this, right now we're trading back up to equilibrium of this range, a previous day's range, and hit 50% right there. So it could fall over from there. We have about 1 minute to that, and I don't think that there's any news today. Let's just look. Sorry, it's gonna change it just for a second. Nope. So no news today. I think it says Powell speaks later. I don't know why today it just wants to be very slow. I thought they fixed the Wi-Fi. So, okay, now one trade lower, but we'll see what we end up getting a little bit here. Again, very low interest. Very, very low interest. So you saw how we went to equilibrium of that range and then have since now rejected. So again, we'll be looking there, there, and there. So we'll see if we're able to get that. We might not. Might not give us anything. Just kind of just ran lower. So we may not get anything anyways, but the hourly, there's a 15-minute gap. Yeah, 15-minute gap here. Again, looking for sell side. But I don't know if we're going to be getting a large and a lot of range today, just in my opinion. But I could be wrong. But that's a nice reaction that we would expect. It might just be gone, to be honest. And take out this right there. So that's liquidity pool is there. I mean, pretty much if it just screams down there, I mean, I don't know what else there will be for me to do, even if it's just demo, because like I'm not gonna keep chasing it down there, especially with the contract rollover. I don't think there's a need for it. But that's a nice reaction and turn from a higher time frame array. That's what we look for in price. Now what I want to see is the intraday ranges right now. Let's go on to like a 5-minute chart right now. So now we're trading back at the regular trading hours open from yesterday. That's kind of where we're at right now. After hitting this 15-minute fair value gap that went up to 50% of yesterday's range, discounting this low. Because we see this as a stop run. We take that, we went up to 50% of yesterday's range, and then we had displacement there. So it's a pretty good sign for potential lower prices. We don't necessarily really have any news to worry about, but again, this gap here, if it even trades to it, I would expect an institutional order flow entry drill and it not to completely close this in. That's what I would expect from this. So we'll see if we can get that. If we can, I'll put one on and we'll look to see if we can reach down here. But this may remain a breakaway gap or a measuring gap, I think is what sometimes you can call it. The weather's kind of nice. I got a game tomorrow, so we gotta. It's the team in Barcelona. We gotta beat them. And then, cause I'm in a city outside of there, outside of Barcelona. I went into Barcelona yesterday. It was kind of cool, to be honest. We did some street interviews, and it was interesting. We had a couple questions that he asked. I was just kind of helping out. I think the first one was, do you think love is, he had them all about love or some, his was all about love. And it was like, do you think love is blind? That was the first question. Like, can you fall in love with someone without seeing them? Then it was, do you think Valentine's Day is for men, is for women, or is it for both? And then the second one was obviously depending on who he asked, whether it was a male or a female. If it was a male, he asked, what do you think women, or what do you wish women understood about men? And then it was the opposite for women. What do you think men wish they understood? What do you think men understood about women? So that was like kind of what he asked. Very interesting responses. I don't know when he'll put out his vlog, but when he does, if you're interested, I'll let you guys know. But it was very, very interesting. I will say that. Some of the responses. So for me, if it can trade up here, I don't know if it can. I would sell one. My stop loss would be pretty much above there. I think this is how you do, buy stop. And then this would be a buy limit. If it can do that. Obviously if it screams down there, then that's not what we would want. We'll just take it off for right now. I wouldn't expect it to close this. And if it does, then we'll have to readjust to see if it wants to break down again. And then we'll do that, but I wouldn't expect this to get closed at all. Expect it, if it can even trade up into there before taking this out. I would expect a institutional full entry drill. That'd be my expectation. I do wish that this overlapped with yesterday's opening price. This fair value gap, I like that better. Let's look on the 2-minute chart actually. I like this way better actually. Put it there. And again, same premise. I don't even think it should get up there. It may not even have the strength to get up to that point. I like how this overlaps with the opening price from yesterday, so that's why I'm leaving it there. And we'll look at this on a 2-minute chart. If it can get up there. That's what I would look for. It'd be a shame if it can't reach up there. It just tanks. I just like how that overlaps. That's just why I am choosing that specific gap on the 2-minute chart. Also, let's just do this for a second. No, the 2-minute chart, I just like that one better. On the 3-minute chart, as you can see, it did an institutional order flow entry, Joe. I just like the 2-minute chart, how it overlapped. And we'll see if that's what we can get. If we can't, then it is what it is. But if it screams down to the sell side liquidity pool here, I'm done for the day. Because that's just what my thing is. I have to be a little bit more stricter on that. Like when it starts to hit my levels that I'm looking for, just kind of move on to another day where it trades up or down, whatever the direction is, to my levels, and I'm kind of just patiently waiting for that. And it's Friday, like it's just, there's so many things I'm not gonna try. Even if it like were to come down here, create a fair value gap down here, for me it's just not enough range, and I wouldn't necessarily really care about it because of all the other things that I've talked about in the beginning. That's what would stop me from doing the other stuff. But that's a nice reaction out the 15-minute gap right here. Inside, we were talking about the wick on the hourly chart. right here, this wick. We were grading the wick. Maybe we even graded it on the 15-minute chart too. Yeah, we may not get this entry. But remember how we graded this right here and it stayed below 50%? Look at the bodies. The wicks do the damage. So that's what we would want to see. But I don't think we're going to get this entry. We may. But I don't think we'll get it. I wouldn't want to even see it trade up to 50% of this. Of this gap, and my stop loss is above that. So that's what I would be looking for if it can do that. See if we can get it. Yesterday was very gray and cold. Today, sunny. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice outside. The temperature, where's my phone? La temperatura is my dad is hilarious when it comes to March Madness. Oh, my dad is hilarious. So now we're in. Confused by that. Why is it not moving? It's kind of weird. I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna close that. Let's put my stop loss above where it was. I think it was right there. And then look for TP down to the sell side. It just says 61 for y'all too. I don't know. That's very weird. But what I want to see is it not trade above 50% here. I want to see this remain a breakaway gap. That would be my thought process here. But I don't know why it still says that. But sorry, I was talking about the weather. It is 60 degrees out here right now. That's pretty good, in my opinion. It's pretty warm. So, yeah, I don't know why it's not moving. It's just stuck on 61, which is weird. So we hit the regular open hour, regular trading hours opening price. That's what I was framing this specific gap over, and I wouldn't want to see it trade higher. Now, obviously, it can do whatever, but that's just like where my thought process was, and I would not expect this to fill completely. There's the 1 minute fair value gap. It's hitting that right now, and we'll see what happens. But that's just so weird. How it's not changing. So that's what that white, that's what that second line is, this one. That's the 1 minute fair value gap. Right there. Now we'd want to see us completely erase this order block and not show any support of that. If we can do that. But I'll go back to the 2 minute chart since that's where it was framed off of for me. Maybe I can try to log out and come back in. I don't know why it's doing that. I've never seen that before. Let me see. It just says 61. Let's log out. Huh? Was it this one? There we go. Okay. So this is the one that we're in right now. So if it trades up a little higher and then comes down, then we'll adjust there. And we'll see. If we take this range though, what my stop loss is probably in jeopardy. If we take this range though, here's 50%. Here would be the breaker. There, high, low, higher, high. I would just not expect this whole gap to be completely closed, which it could. But that wouldn't be my expectation. If we do that, then we'll see what we get from there. If it breaks down again, then I'll take another one. Take another short. But very, very, very hesitant because of everything that's already happened. It's already traded lower. It's already accomplished higher time frame arrays, in my opinion, since yesterday. And what day? Wednesday. So has the possibility to come in here. Again, I wouldn't expect this to completely close. Now what's important for me is this gap here at 940. We cannot show respect of that, and we need to start trading towards this low. Once that happens, then you can start to change or move things. But this gap right here needs to get closed below the specific gap. This would be a fair value gap. So that can't start showing support. We need to close below it. Show no respect of it. Then if that's what's being shown, then we're good. Then we're in good hands. So that's what we want to see. Right now, I don't necessarily like that, to be honest. I don't like what we're showing there. Not saying that it still can't do that, still can't go lower, but I would have expected by the time element, it to close way, way down in there. That would have been my expectation. Because I think right now, just on a 1 minute chart, we spent way too much time in this gap. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 minutes inside this gap. This, we left the wick, yeah, I'm watching the bodies. If this was a Thursday, I wouldn't necessarily be as apprehensive about this trade, but because it's Friday, contract rollover, we could not even take this low out, and we could not even take out this high. I don't know. But I don't like how much time we're spending here. That's just my thing right now. Because we're in this gap, which you didn't completely close in, which I like. How we didn't completely close that in. But, yeah. We'll see what happens here. We can trade below this low. Should be minor sell side. Where is it? So right now we need to kind of go through it on this candle. The next two candles, we need to see us close below this, and then not peak below this, like not like barely stick its head below this. Like it needs to go with some speed. Then when that happens, we'll look to see if we can take this out. So now we're taking that out. It needs to like show speed there. I'm watching ES just at the same time just to make sure it's I don't want to see a SMT divergence start to occur there, but I still think that we might want to target this. Let's put this to the right. You can see, so if we can get below that, we close below that, then I'm more likely to move my stop. If we do that, target the sell side, and then kind of just move from there. Need to see closure below there. And then I'll move my stop to pretty much a pizza. And I would expect this if, I wouldn't even want to see trade up into this, but if it were, I would expect it to hold price. Especially how large this candle is. Don't want to see it close up above. Want to pretty much see it scream down there with some speed, and then we'll be good for today. It's a quick one. Okay, so now that's going to be the trade setup for right above here, and then we'd expect to see this low get taken out. If I had more than one on, I would have taken partials there. I just only have one contract, so I can't necessarily do anything else. So that's just kind of where my risk is, and so we'll see. We'll just let it play out from here. So we could have done a little bit better job with precision. I feel like precision was not the best today, because I got hit with a little bit of drawdown. But I felt like where my stop loss placement, I'd expect it to fail, which it didn't do, which is good. And I think minimum this should take out the low. I don't know if ES will take out the low. I would expect it, but minimum this is what I would expect for it. It's Friday. So we did hit the rejection block here. Again, I probably would, if I had another one on, would take one off there. Just because of the day, what is already done. It doesn't have to take out this low, but I just literally only have one contract, so I can't. I guess I could close it, honestly. I really could. I really could close it. See if it can get there. It may be a shame for us to come stop us out from there, but it is 1,000% possible for that to happen. Or it just doesn't take out the low. Could be 17 handles away. This would be a mitigation block with this inverse fair value gap and this large SIBI. So I would expect us to take out this low. But again, anything is possible. Let's see if we can get that. It's a punch through the sell side liquidity pool. Then that's it for today. I don't like where the body closed there. Thing is, I think the only reason why I'm thinking that this potentially could hit that low, and where ES may not do it, is because ES is a little bit heavier or a little bit stronger, and it's not as close to the low. So I would expect this one to potentially hit out the low and not ES if there is going to be some type of SMT. But we'll see. Come on, we're almost there for real. Can get that, that'd be nice. I would expect it to hit it. Take a nice little screenshot when it does. If it can do it and not be flirting. Should be able to do it here. There we go. There we go. Nice little break. Nice trade. Had a little bit of more drawdown than I would have wanted. If we waited for the 1 minute gap, it gave it to us, but I like the overlapping of the regular trading hours. Trade up a little bit deeper than what I would have wanted, but that's fine. We have a breaker block here. High, low, higher time frame. Don't try to chase it down here. Wait for it to come back up. And then target this sell side here with higher time frame overall, just looking for lower prices. That's what we got today. So we'll take that. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week on Monday. So hope you guys have a great weekend. And if you're in the Discord, I'll catch you guys there. If not, you can always message me on Instagram. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Peace out, gang. Peace out.